we had really good intentions of creating a podcast, like a family podcast.
Yeah.
And we've done zero. We did one of setting up a camera, which was by mistake,
Yeah.
and we've done zero. So we've done zero because we've been very busy building a company.
Yes, we have.
Um,
I'm doing other videos. It's not like we haven't done anything.
you've been doing videos.
Yes, I have.
Mm-hmm. So the whole purpose of this podcast, I think, is just to kind of, I don't know, share. We don't even know if our experience is interesting or if we're interesting. But the idea is that, we've been married for how long? We've been married for 17 years. And, we're looking at the second half of our life. That sounds a little morbid, but sort of like, and we're creating a company together.
Yeah, well, that's the interesting part, which is
At least us.
well, no, but I think it's interesting to a lot of people because if you look at like what you and I are doing with Roth Academy,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I come with military background, anti-terrorism training, almost 20 years in the private security field. I have a ton of specialized training that's geared towards this little niche of like home security preparedness. But I'm not an entrepreneur,
Right.
right? I don't know if I would have done this on my own. Like I don't know where I would have started.
Okay, so let me stop you right there because this is actually quite a funny story. So about 3 weeks ago, 3.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, do you like the fact that she cut me off? I didn't finish my communication.
But we're married. That's how we do. We finish each other's stuff. Okay, so let me just take it back a little bit. We moved here to Florida March 2022, and we moved here for a variety of reasons. One of the main reasons why we moved here was for a job, or for a job for me. Career. And then Henrik ended up working at that same company. Anyways, fast forward a year later, we both weren't needed anymore. And
that's another good way of putting it.
Both weren't needed anymore. But we don't even care about that. What's been really interesting is that we've decided to go ahead and launch not one but two businesses, which we'll tell you about. And what we realized, I think it was about 2 weeks in, Henrik said to me, he's like, "Oh my God, do you hear that?" And I said, "Hear what?" And he said, "It's quiet." We were working in another industry and job where it was pretty much 7 days a week for us. There was always something happening and going on that we had to pay attention to. And yeah, it was 2 weeks in. You said it's quiet.
Yeah.
We just got space, and then I was like, okay, I'm going to start my own company, which I'm doing, which is going to be a family travel retreat company. Like, I'll get into that later. And then Henrik's like, "What am I going to do?" You're like, what am I going to do? And
because also to add to that, I left the security industry in May of 2022. Right. And I decided like I didn't want to be involved in the physical security world anymore. Again, that's something that I can do in detailed videos and the reason why. But so I left that, and at this point, when we sort of no longer work with this company, I knew that I did not want to go back doing personal protection again. That like I did not want to go back into that field of potentially all the travel, being away from my family, constant bombardment with like negative.
Plus, the market here wasn't really at the same pay scale as it was in LA. So in LA, it was at a certain level, and here in Tampa Bay, Florida, it was just a bit different. But then I had this idea, and I was thinking about it as he was talking. I was like, wow, we're actually sitting on something that's very interesting because he has 20 plus years experience, not only in the field, but his military background, everything that he said. And I was thinking to myself, and I said to him, I was like, security is sort of reserved for the elite, right? People who can afford a few $1,000s, am I shutting? A few $1,000s a day to have guards at your property.
You.
Whatever. It's not something that like an everyday homeowner is going to be able to afford. And, in this day and age, you look at like crimes and such have risen. It's on a slow uptick, which isn't great, and there's other things to do to help bring that down. But people are interested in security. They want to make sure that they have the right alarm system and their cameras in the right place, and they don't know how to assess their property to see if it's safe or not. Anyways, the whole point is that I realized that I'm kind of sitting on something with him, and I thought, if I can take all my marketing skill and my digital marketing background, and how do we take all that knowledge and make it available for the everyday homeowner?
Oh, and on top of that as well, like you've had your own company since 2007.
Right.
So you have experience in an entrepreneurial
in marketing,
mindset.
Advertising. Right. Okay, so the funny part, because I've really taken a long way to get there, as I said to Henrik, I said, this is a great idea. That was good. You got me back on track. As I said, I said, we should just start our own company with this. We should just do it where we take all your data and we just make it available to the everyday homeowner. And he's like, you're like, no, I am not an entrepreneur like you. No, I go get a job. And he like huffs and puffs and walks out in your very Swedish sort of self-determined way.
Yeah.
It pissed me off nonetheless. So then I went downstairs and
Viking
I said,
roots.
Yes. And I said, fine. It's my company and you're hired. And you said, fine.
Done.
But now he calls it his company.
Well, because I'm adding a few things to it.
Yes. So the success is I literally did one post in a church group, and we had about 15 people that reached, and we closed, I think, 4 clients. Just one post, just kind of saying, hey, would anybody be interested in this?
And this was before we even had a website, before I even had plans or anything. I basically sold it, or we sold it based on what's up here. And a lot of
your
these
experience,
things,
not just what's in your brain.
Right? But that's what I'm talking about. It's my experiences. Because one of the things is that I think that all these things that comes natural to me, in all my experience, I think that everybody knows this. Like I'm not saying it's like, oh yeah, well, this is common sense. Everybody knows this.
You didn't realize how much you knew.
Correct. Like I didn't realize like how much I knew and how valuable the information is, because I kept doing it every day. Everything from property write-ups or route planning or threat assessment or emergency planning and emergency details, sort of specific to site or location, right? And it's not rocket science, but it takes a mindset. It takes a little bit of a mindset to be able to take a look at what are the specific things for this individual, because it determines of like how many members of the family, right? And then where is location, the size of it, and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he'll talk forever about it, but the point is that the reason why we want to do this podcast is and my main passion, which Henrik backed me up in, is helping families, right? And I think that besides launching Roth Academy, which stands for
Ruler of the Home.
Yes, which his
also,
name.
My name, Henrik, means ruler of the home.
So it's Roth.
It's my company.
It's not owned by like a little Jewish man from Brooklyn. That's what I immediately thought of, which is fine. But ruler of the home, Roth Academy. So we've launched that. We started the website, should be up momentarily, and we'll let everyone know. But my passion is helping families be stronger. And I have a few clients, and what I noticed about my clients, if you take, I don't even think I said this to you, they're all married couples who run a business. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because one set of my clients, they will have contention at home. And it was funny, this one day, it was a Friday, the husband called me bitching about the wife, and the wife called me bitching about the husband. I said, that's it, you both come over to my house right now. And came over, and we started working and found out what the problem was actually something that was happening at work. And the minute we handled that problem at work and spotted the real reason for the upset, literally 3 hours later, they were sending me cute pictures of them kissing, making funny faces and all this. And so my passion is to be able to help couples be able to achieve their goals.
Well, to achieve their goals by eliminating the one of the stops that prevents them from getting there.
Yeah.
Which is like if you have a bunch of issues with your spouse, that's not going to take up all your time.
Yeah.
So you're now not going to focus on the goals of what it is you want to achieve because you got this problem or this person's doing this wrong, is doing this wrong, doing this wrong. So just take that out of the equation and then focus on what it is that you're moving forward. So, I mean, hell, we've been married for 17 years and it's not because of me. It's because of her.
But what's interesting and is a total win is that if you look at from March into now, we both lost our jobs.
Yeah.
We're starting new businesses, things that are typically super high stress. And I will say this is probably the best we've ever done.
Yeah.
And I think the reason for that is because we're creating on something together. And we bicker about it. Like he's very opinionated and so am I.
Yeah. I won't be as vocal on camera as I am behind the camera. I can tell you that much.
Well, we might catch some moments. No, but it's fine. Like even yesterday, I don't even remember what we were, but I said apple and he's like, no, banana. And I'm like, no, it's an apple. Why would you even think it's a banana? He's like, why would you even think it's a banana? I mean, an apple.
Because it was a banana.
No, right. So we were in this thing, but then he went upstairs. He walked off with like a bowl of chocolate ice cream and he went upstairs. And I went and handled our daughter. And then I went up there and we're like, oh, okay, blah, 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 blah. And I said, it really is because of this and I'm sorry and blah, blah, blah. And it was handled.
Yeah.
I think that's the key is we not anymore let things fester for very long.
No, I mean, I used to hold on to things like they were an attachment to my body, but it didn't serve me. It didn't serve a purpose and didn't serve me, right? So I've surely but slowly, been able to let go of those things.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what we're doing right now. We are, it will be at a formal launch next week.
Yeah.
Still at the website.
A lot of work to do.
And all that. There's a lot of work to do. We're learning a lot of new things, working quickly, getting some great help. And yeah, I just figured we would share along the way of what it's like to build a business together.
It's a learning
really
process.
Better marriage. Yeah.
But a marriage?
Well, I mean, you're annoying. You get the point.
But this is a learning process as well. It's like, as I said, I've been doing security for such a long time and providing it for people who can afford, which I remember I said in that one video, it's like hundreds and thousands or maybe millions of dollars a year. I worked a security contract, but the security budget was $5 million a year. It means that this client was paying $5 million a year for security services.
That's dinner.
That's dinner.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right.
Is that the cue for me to stop talking? Last video, you kept telling me that I needed to talk more. Now, when I talk more, you say it's dinner. Shut up.
It's beeping. That's what the beeping is.
It's not a timer tied to C4 explosive. It's not going to go off. It's just going to keep on beeping.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys will stay tuned. We promise we'll make it even more interesting.
I think this was pretty interesting.
Yes, we did.
Like either people are going to look at that and
I feel like we're sitting at a news table.
Yeah, we'll put
in our black room.
We'll put a little news logo up here.
Can you turn it off?
Which should be the logo of a coffee cup.